my name is ellvna. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a kind of a part 2 to a video I did a few weeks ago. Recently, I filmed a video all about my favorite songs of all time, and you guys seem to really like that video, so I decided to expand it a little bit and talk about my favorite albums of all time. So, I've compiled a list of my top 10 favorite albums of all time. These are albums that I've been listening to for years, albums that have just helped me through things, and albums that I could honestly listen to from beginning to end for the rest of my life and would never get bored of. So yeah, some of these are gonna be pretty obvious. Pretty obvious. But there's some albums on here that I don't think anyone knows how much I love them, and might be surprised that they are on my favorite albums of all time list. So how I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to talk about the album and then kind of go in a little bit deeper and share with you my 2 favorite songs from that album and why I love the album. So without further ado, let's just get started. These are my top 10 favorite albums of all time. Let's go. So the first album on my list of my top 10 favorite albums of all time is, yes, On My Wall. Hi, if you're new to my channel, what's up? My name is ellvna. I freaking love 5 Seconds of Summer a lot. And yes, their album, Sounds Good Feels Good, is my favorite album of all time right now. I have said this in numerous videos before. I think Sounds Good Feels Good is 10 times better than Five Sauce's first album because it's so unique. I think all of the songs on Sounds Good Feels Good have their own sound, and I think they have a better sound than the self-titled album, much more mature, and Five Sauce just wrote really well written songs about things that people can connect to so much more than in their first album, if that makes sense. Like Broken Home and Invisible and Outer Space and The Girl Who Cried Wolf, and there's just so many songs on Sounds Good Feels Good that are just so important to pay attention to. I think Sounds Good Feels Good is an incredible, incredible album, and that's why it's on my wall. My 2 favorite songs from Sounds Good Feels Good are obviously Castaway, because it's me, hi, and then Outer Space / Carry On. Castaway was in my favorite songs of all time video, so I've kind of already jammed to this song on my channel before, but we're gonna jam to it again because it's Castaway, and it's 5 Seconds of Summer's best song, so here we go. And then of course you can't forget about Outer Space / Carry On. That song is so important to me. It's so inspirational. It's lyrically perfect. It's musically perfect. It's so well produced and it's so good live. I cried both times I saw it live last year. If you're ever just in a dark place, Outer Space / Carry On is such a good song to listen to. I know it's helped a lot of fans, and I can see why, because it's perfect.
You know it's gonna get better. You know it's gonna get better. I got 1 foot in the golden life, 1 foot in the gutter.
And then I would have to say the next album on my list is honestly kind of tied with Sounds Good Feels Good, but for different reasons. So I would say these 2, Sounds Good Feels Good and then the one I'm about to talk about, are my favorite albums of all time, like top. And then everything else is pretty much in its own order, so yeah. This album is by my favorite singer of all time, aka Ed Sheeran. If you're new to my channel and you didn't know, hi, I'm ellvna. I also really love Ed Sheeran. It was hard for me to figure out which one of his albums were my favorite, but I decided to go with Plus. That's the album. 1, because it holds my favorite song of all time, Give Me Love, is my #1 all-time favorite song ever. Nothing will ever top that song, ever. That is my #1. And also the fact that it just means a lot to me. It was the album that I found Ed Sheeran through. I can still remember the first time I listened to Plus and fell in love with Ed Sheeran, and since then I've never been bored of the album, even though it's been about like 5 years since I became a fan. And this album just brings me back, honestly. It gives me a lot of nostalgia, and I have a lot of good memories with this album, and I do think it's probably like the best Ed Sheeran album just because it's, you know, the OG, and Give Me Love and You Need Me, I Don't Need You, which are my 2 favorite songs from Plus. Give Me Love and You Need Me, Don't Need You. I've already jammed to Give Me Love on my channel. It was in my last video about my favorite songs of all time, but we're gonna jam again because guess what? It's the best song ever created.
We'll play hide and seek to turn this around. All I want is the taste that your lips allow. my mind. Oh, give me love.
I fucking love this song so much.
Now I'm in town, break it down, thinking of making a new sound, playing a different show every night in front of a new crowd that's new now. Chow seems to laugh is great now. See me lose focus as I sing to you loud. Melody music maker, reading all the papers. They say I'm up and coming like I'm fucking in an elevator.
I love that lyric so much. The next album on my list of my favorite albums of all time is by my other favorite singer of all time, Halsey. I'm sure most of you know that I'm a huge Halsey fan. I love her so much. She is so important to me and I love her music to death. And although I did say I think I like Hopeless Fountain Kingdom a little bit better than Badlands, and that still stands, I think in terms of like production and theme and just overall, I kind of like Hopeless Fountain Kingdom better, but I decided to put Badlands on my list of favorite albums of all time because that album holds so much meaning to me. I've been a fan of Halsey for over 3 years now, I think, and so I was there when she released Room 93, I was there when she released Badlands, and that was crazy because that was her first album and it was just so amazing to see her actually release an album and have it do so well. And I just have so many memories from the Badlands era. I saw her like 3 times in that era, and I met her a few times, and she's amazing and I love her so much, and so that's why I put Badlands on this list instead of Hopeless Fountain Kingdom, because Badlands is the OG, honestly, and it is an incredible album, and I could listen to Badlands every day for the rest of my life and never get bored of it. And my 2 favorite songs from Badlands by Halsey are Gasoline and Drive.
And all the people say you can't wake up, this is not a dream. Your body's a machine, you are not a human being. You should face all men up, living honestly. In California, never felt like home to me until I had you on the open road, and now we're singing.
The third album on my list of my top 10 favorite albums of all time is one that I don't think any of you are expecting me to say. That's okay, because I'm going to explain it right now. I don't really talk about this that much because I don't want the comments to be flooded with conspiracy theories, but I'm a massive fan of Avril Lavigne. I've been a fan of hers since I was 5, and to this day I still stan Avril Lavigne super hard, and I do not think she died and was replaced. That is ridiculous. She has one album that I think is her best album. Obviously it's why it's on the list, and it is her album called Under My Skin. This album is 13 years old. It came out in 2004 when I was 5. To this day, I think it is an amazing album. The songs are all so unique and powerful, and it was in the middle of her punk phase, which was my favorite Avril Lavigne phase because I love punk music. If you used to stan Avril Lavigne, I think all of us had a phase. I still do, but you know, and you kind of forgot about her, go give this album a listen because it's so good and there are so many iconic songs on it. And my 2 favorite songs from Under My Skin by Avril Lavigne are Nobody's Home and How Does It Feel?
She wants to go home, but nobody's home. It's where she lies, broken inside, with no place to go, no place to go. How does it feel? How does it feel? It's different from me, different, so how does it feel? How does it feel?
My next favorite album of all time is kind of a no-brainer because I mentioned this in last week's video. This is an album called Don't Panic by All Time Low. As you know, All Time Low is one of my favorite bands ever, and this is my favorite album by them, so it only made sense to include this in the list. The reason why I love Don't Panic and the reason why it's my favorite All Time Low album is because all of the songs are so unique and they're all so different from each other, but they're all so good. Like there is not a single song on Don't Panic that there's not a single song on Don't Panic that I don't love. Like, I love every single song and they're all just so unique. I think it was a great rebound after Dirty Work because not many people liked their album Dirty Work, and this was the next album after that. And I think All Time Low really came back and proved to their fans again that they are fantastic, because they are, and I love All Time Low so much. Don't Panic by All Time Low is an amazing album. Every single song is amazing, and it was really hard to choose my 2 favorites, but I decided to go with A, The Irony of Choking on a Lifesaver, and B, Backseat Serenade.
You're the snake hidden in my daffodils. When I'm picking flowers, that's just my luck these days. Why can't you just be happy for me? You had me at come over, boy. I need a friend, I understand. Backseat serenade, dizzy hurricane. Oh God, I'm sick of sleeping alone.
What?
I was gonna headbang to your music. Are
Well,
you calling?
yeah. Do you want to make a guest appearance?
That's gonna be a funny ass video.
The fuck? My next favorite album of all time is an album called Born to Die, and it is by Lana Del Rey. This is gonna be hard to explain because I know I've said multiple times before that I think Lana Del Rey sucks now, because she does. I've loved this album since 7th grade, and to this day I could still listen to it every day and never get bored of it. But every other album Lana Del Rey has ever made is so bad. Like, Ultraviolence was okay. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I didn't mind it. And then Honeymoon and now Lust for Life are both trash. Lana stans, please don't come for me, but I hate them. I think they're pretty basic and boring, and all the songs sound the same, but in Born to Die, all the songs sound different, which is fantastic, and all the songs are so good. There's not a single song on Born to Die that I don't like. Even though I don't really consider myself a Lana fan anymore, this album is golden. I love it so much. And this is including the Paradise Edition too, because the Paradise Edition has Ride, and as you know, that is one of my favorite songs of all time. It was in my other video. And normally I would say one of my favorite songs from Born to Die is Ride, but I feel like I'm repeating a lot of the songs that were in my all-time favorite songs list video thing. So just so I don't repeat myself anymore, my favorite songs from Born to Die besides Ride are Without You and Diet Mountain Dew. Is such a sexy song. It's so, oh, man, I love this song so much. Alright, the next two albums on my list, no one's expecting me to say, I don't think, but they're here. They're on the list because I love these albums so much. The first album, this is honestly really random. I don't even know how to explain this one, to be honest, because like, what? One of my favorite albums of all time is called For Your Entertainment, and it is by Adam Lambert. Yes, if we all remember Adam Lambert, he was on American Idol, I think in 2009. I stand Adam Lambert so hard. I was in 5th grade and I loved this man so much. I supported him. I wanted him to win. I cried when he didn't win. And then he released For Your Entertainment, and 5th grade me was freaking shooketh. Like, this album was like my life in 5th grade, even though like I didn't understand what half of the songs were about, but it was my life, okay? I feel like this is really random because like, no, I doubt any of you were expecting me to say one of my favorite albums of all time was an album by Adam Lambert from 2009, but it's true. I can definitely say that I could truly listen to this album every day for the rest of my life and never get tired of it. Every single song is just such a bop. So if you've never heard the entirety of this album, I suggest you go take a look at it on Spotify because it's very good. My two favorite songs from this album are Time for Miracles and For Your Entertainment. For Your Entertainment, the actual song, was my life in 5th grade. Like, this was my #1 jam. I didn't know what any of it meant, but I do now, and it's lit. It is still lit. I know every single word, and I could jam to it forever. And then Time for Miracles, I think it was in the movie 2012. I never saw that movie, but I think it was part of the soundtrack or whatever, and it's such a beautiful song. It is literally such a beautiful song. Hello everyone, it's editing ellvna here, hello. I just realized I forgot to jam to the song For Your Entertainment. So we're gonna do that right now. Okay.
Don't be afraid. I'ma hurt you real good, baby. Let's go. There's no way to ring the alarm. So hold on until it's over. Do you know what you got into? Can you handle what I'm about to do? 'Cause it's about to get rough for you. I'm here for your entertainment.
Bye. Now the other one I don't think many people are expecting me to say is an album by One Direction, because yes, once upon a time I had a huge obsession with One Direction. But then eventually I kind of moved on to different bands and styles, but I've always had a special place in my heart for 1D, and my favorite album by them is definitely one of my favorite albums of all time, because again, I could listen to this album every day for the rest of my life and I would never get tired of it, and it is their album called Take Me Home. This was their best era. The Take Me Home era was perfect. I went to the Take Me Home tour and it was so much fun. And the album itself is just so much fun. Every single song is different from the rest. They all have their own unique sounds. They're all super catchy and they're just so much fun songs on this album that I love. Again, a lot of nostalgia with this album because this album was my life in 8th grade and it's still fantastic. And my two favorite songs from Take Me Home by One Direction are Still the One and I Would.
You're all I think about, baby. I was so stupid for letting you go, but I know you're still the one. You might have moved on, but girl, you should know that I know you're still the one. You should know that I would be singing till the love begin. Well, if it was me, then I would.
The 9th album on my list of my top 10 favorite albums of all time is another one that was kind of hard to pick because I love every single album by this band. If you didn't know, one of my favorite bands ever is Grouplove. They are incredible. I love Grouplove with all of my heart. They are amazing. Their songs are just so good. And it was hard for me to choose which album by them was my favorite because I love all of their albums for different reasons, but I decided to include their first album, which is called Never Trust a Happy Song, on my list because just like with Badlands and Plus, it's the OG Grouplove album. I discovered this album when I was in middle school and that's how I became a fan of Grouplove, was through this album. So that's why it's on my list, even though there are so many songs from Spreading Rumors and Big Mess that I love so much. Never Trust a Happy Song is the OG. So yeah, Never Trust a Happy Song by Grouplove just brings me back, and there's so many good songs on there that are just perfect. And my two favorite songs from Never Trust a Happy Song by Grouplove are It's Not a Photograph, because that is my favorite song by them ever, and Lovely Cup. And final album on my list of my top 10 favorite albums of all time is kind of a newer addition, to be honest. I didn't know what this album was a year ago, but since discovering it maybe like last October, November, it has definitely become one of my favorite albums of all time because it's perfect. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably know what I'm about to say because I talk about this band so often, but yes, it is Double Dare by Waterparks. I love Waterparks so much. They have become so special to me over the last like 9 months. I love them so much. There's only one song on Double Dare that I don't really like, which is Take Her to the Moon, but every other song is so good. I feel like I've talked about this a lot on like Twitter and stuff, but I'm gonna talk about it again because it makes me happy. A few weeks ago when I saw All Time Low, Waterparks opened for All Time Low, and I met Austin after their set and I got to tell him face to face that Double Dare helped me through senior year in many capacities, and he gave me a hug and he said thank you, and I was like, I love you, King. Yeah, I love Double Dare because every single song is so well produced and just so different from the others, And the lyrics, oh my god, Austin Knight, man. Some of the lyrics in this album just blow my mind. They're incredible. So yes, Double Dare by Waterparks. Please go check it out if you haven't already. It's fantastic. My 2 favorite songs from this album, I've already jammed to both of them on my channel before, but I'm gonna do it again because I love them. They are Hawaii, Stay Awake, and Plum Island, of course. Plum Island is my fucking jam.
I can't even count my times. Is that a voice red or mine? Tell me, won't you stay away for me? I've been feeling this island temperature, waiting for the right time to get away. Every day I forgot to thank you, so I'll just swim on this island till I break.
So yes, that pretty much concludes my list of my top 10 favorite albums of all time. I hope you guys liked it. Feel free to comment down below some of your favorite albums of all time, and if we had any of the same favorite albums of all time, let me know. I would love to hear what we got in common. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because that would mean a lot. And I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, my name is ellvna, and that's me over and out. Bye! I would also like to give a huge shout out to Luke Hemmings from 5 Seconds of Summer. Thank you for tweeting me today. That meant a lot. Okay, I love 5 Sauce. All right, goodbye.